Can you talk about your members some more? Because I'm kind of curious about their profile and what industries they represent. And I'm just wondering if there are other sectors in Italy that maybe we should be courting to come here to the Philippines like you did.
Well, definitely. Now, first of all, about our members are definitely Filipino companies who may have interests in Italy, either because they're buying Italian products or because they are using Italian machinery, or Italian companies who have set up their branch in the Philippines or that are trading or dealing with Filipino partners or Filipino counterparts. That is typically our member base. But we also have French companies, we have German companies.
So not exclusive to
Spanish
Italians,
companies. We have a lot of companies also from Europe and even from other parts of the ASEAN who choose to be our members because they see that we do certain things right in certain sectors. And especially now lately, Filipino companies who want to do export. Because we are very specialized, especially also my first job was export manager, can you imagine? We are also specialized in helping companies to find export markets. And that's at the moment something that is being sought after, especially after RCEP. I think the Philippines needs to gear up or succumb versus their competitors in the region.
That's interesting. So, what are when I think about Italian companies, so you mentioned some of those, but you were saying a while ago that that there are certain expertise of Italians that maybe not many Filipinos know about. Can you talk about that? Maybe I'm just thinking about what areas from the Italian business community we should be looking at.
Well, one thing we have in common as Italians and Filipinos, which is our appetite or our food, right? We love our food, both of us. So Italy produces some of the best food manufacturing machines, and starting from the gelato to noodles to many other things. I know that we have a big competition here from China or Taiwan because they try to beat everyone's price.
Sure.
But when we talk about quality and longevity of these machines, then the Italian ones are certainly the best in the world.
Are there any agricultural companies in your chamber, or have you heard of any agricultural companies in Italy that may be looking to explore opportunities here? Or?
Agriculture is actually was always considered a poor market because there is not much money in it.
Okay.
So we have never spent too much time developing that sector, but there is several companies, our members, who are active, for example, in veterinary medicine, who are active in other fields of agriculture, like additives for various products that are being produced here in the Philippines.
You were mentioning machinery a while ago.
Yes.
Is that exclusive to maybe high-end cars and different kinds of mobility transport, but or are there other other types of industrial machinery that Italy is known for?
Yeah, for example, we were talking about food, so food processing machinery. Then I was mentioning Danieli earlier, which is in the steel processing and manufacturing of steel products. We have presses, for example, so thermofolding presses, which could be for the manufacturing of fridges or air conditioners. There is a real variety of things. Whatever you can think of, so the Italians have invented it probably.
What about telecommunications? I mean, I remember from the past, that there are some Italian firms also looking at opportunities here. Is that still the case, or is that an area, telecommunications, maybe IT, that field? Are there any Italian standouts that we should be looking at?
Yeah, we have one member, CRIF, which is a credit rating agency,
Oh, yes.
right? And they do also business intelligence. They work with over 70 local banks to give them information about companies and individuals.
Right.
That is definitely one company that stands out.
Right.
And then we have other companies that do software development, for example, and companies who do, for example, what I mentioned, export promotion.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is the Philippines doing any promotions in Italy to maybe get some of your businessmen to also look this way? Because you said that they're primarily here for ASEAN and probably China, and they're seeing the Philippines as, an added market to do business in. But is there something that can be done, you think, that can make them look at the Philippines first and then maybe ASEAN and other countries? I mean, from a different way?
Somehow it has started, the process. I can feel it, I saw it, that now people that are looking at the region are seriously considering Philippines as a base.
Okay.
But now when we are talking about setting up a factory and a production company, then we really face fierce competition from Thailand and Vietnam.
Okay.
Thailand and Vietnam, just 2 weeks ago I was in Bangkok on a regional meeting with my colleagues from other Italian chambers in the region. And they told me that in Thailand they give you free land if you want to set up
Build a
there.
factory? Wow.
In Vietnam, they give you also free land and 10 years or 7 or 10 years of tax holiday. So we really need to become more competitive here in the Philippines. But on paper, if you look at it,
Sure.
there is no country like the Philippines.
Okay.
We speak English, we are a flexible workforce, willing to learn, but there is a few things which will then stop them. So, for example, red tape and the high price of electricity, for example, which is
one of the major,
the highest in the region.
Yeah.
And so if your factory is a high energy intensive production place, means that you cannot set up here.
I see. Now, do these other countries that you mentioned, are they promoting in Italy or?
Yeah, they're all promoting.
They're all promoting. But have you ever, while you were there, do you remember maybe hearing something about the Philippines, or maybe say, hey, come visit, look at maybe join a business mission or trade mission?
Yeah, we have regular business missions, at least 3 or 4 a year that come to the Philippines. We are in contact with most of the local chambers of commerce and export promotion agencies in Italy to bring companies here. Definitely, we are doing everything we can to bring in investors.
Right, right.
But I said before, we
There's
need to
issues.
do more to bring Filipino companies out, because that will bring in fresh foreign currency and will increase the overall capability of Philippine companies.
You mean bringing them out, meaning Filipino companies going to Italy?
Doing business in Italy,
That's
in
interesting.
Europe, and in the Middle East, in Africa, in wherever there is a market.
Well, you've been here a while. What Philippine companies or industries do you think would be suitable, right, to go to Italy or elsewhere in Europe? Where are the opportunities?
I think that's worthwhile doing a study on.
Okay.
The moment our message is that those companies who are aiming at export, especially to Europe or to Middle East, to Africa, they can come to us, and we may be able to help them.
That's interesting, because Italy has, a big enough base. I'm wondering, if you're thinking about this, maybe the Philippines using Italy as a springboard.
Yes.
For the rest of Europe. Is that something that you think that's worthy looking at? Or
our tagline, in fact, is Italy gateway to Europe. Because in fact, from the times of Marco Polo, Italy has been the gateway to Europe.
Right.
And still it's like that. Now I know that the Belt and Road agreement between Italy and China has been suspended.
Sure.
But that was also a sign that Italy is the first country that welcomes this trade, because since the ancient times, it has always been there.
So for Filipinos who are maybe exploring opportunities to maybe plant roots in Italy and use that to service Europe, what would you advise them? Where would they go? Italy is a big country. Do they go to Rome, or are there certain parts of the country that are also worthwhile looking at? And maybe how can they go about it? What would be the most common mistakes that they should avoid?
Well, first of all, rather than spending money in trade exhibitions immediately, they should come to us and then evaluate some potential partners and which we can find. And
so
then
you do matchups?
We do the business matching.
I see.
We do a preliminary study if their products can be worthwhile bringing, if they are of equivalent standard for the European markets, because that is also a question that arises very often. If they have the right packaging, but there are several products, for example, which are very much appreciated, which can be manufacture handmade products here in the Philippines.
Well, you're practically Filipino. You've been here. What are some of the things that you noticed that you think could probably make it in Europe?
Oh, there is some beautiful furniture or lampshades or many things that
handicrafts
in Italy
maybe
would fly, really. Even the hand woven
garments?
cloths, yes, the garments are absolutely brilliant. Also for several industries there, that they can use them to produce, I don't know, pillows, for example, or again, lampshades.